Well, hello there. Funny meeting you here in a place like this. This is Sniff How from the PDH Pals, and I'm bringing you another deck tech today. This one's a little interesting. This one definitely is going to be me struggling to describe this deck because this is a weird deck. Swathcutter Giant, 6 mana, 5/5 vigilance. When he attacks, he deals 1 damage to each creature defending player controls. So, a long-standing thing of me, the Sniff Out of the PDH Pals, is that I hate 1-butts, and I pretty much made this deck just to prove that. Just swing and kill all the 1-butts you got. But it's kind of a weird deck because, like, if that's all the deck does, it's a little weird. So it's kind of shifted towards commander damage, but it's in a weird spot because it's Boros, and Boros has virtually no card advantage known to mankind. So there's a lot of ways you gotta fight through that. So, like I said before, he's 6 mana, and 6 mana needs a lot of stuff to get going. So this deck has more ramp than I have ever put in any deck ever. As you can see, we're gonna go over it very shortly. I think it's like 16 to 18 pieces of ramp, which is insane. But there's a reason for that, is because he's 6 mana, like I said, and he is a prime target for removal. People want to get rid of him as soon as possible. Oops, sorry about that. We want to get rid of him as soon as possible and as much as possible, because, like I said, it's kind of commander theme focused, commander damage focused, which is 21 here. So it's like 3 swings if he's at 7 damage, which we have ways to pump him up, so it's not the end of the world. But one of the other reasons I built this deck was because he has an amazing synergy with a little thing called Lifelink. Him with Lifelink, and if you swing into a board of like 10 creatures, that's automatically you're gaining 10 life, even if he doesn't deal combat damage, which is insane. Like, even if they fog it, the creatures are still taking the damage, and you're still gaining that life, which is insane. But that's one of the reasons. That's another reason I built him, because Lifelink on him is so nerdy, so dirty. I like trample a lot too, so we have ways to do trample. And there's some other little sweet combos we have in the deck. So let's go ahead and get into it. Swathcutter Giant, here we go. Like I said, I have a lot of ramp. Core Cartographer. I mean, I feel like a big problem with this deck is that it doesn't have that many creatures, at least compared to other decks I run. And so Core Cartographer is dual purpose. It's 4 mana, get a plains out of your deck, and it's a 2/2 creature. So, not the best ramp, but it is ramp, and he's a blocker too. Grinning Ingus, or I like to call him the Gringus. He's pretty sweet. I just put him in. I haven't played with him yet, but I am eager to see how he does. He's a 3 mana, 2/2, and you pay a red, and you bounce him back to your hand, and then you add the 3 mana. You get back. So essentially, you're netting 2 mana each time, which is pretty sweet. It might be good enough for, like, I don't know, like a rock or a bigger creature, or even Swathcutter, because he's the main reason he's in here. But those are the creature ramps. I guess I got another one right here. Let's just skip to him now, because he is my favorite creature printed in a long time. Scare Tiller. Card's nuts. I do run a lot of cycle lands. I do run a lot of fetch lands. So, I mean, he gets value slow and steady, but he does get it. This is a Boros deck, so you need as much card advantage as possible. And with Scare Tiller, getting some lands back, it is very good. So that's the creature ramp. Go into some regular ramp. Wayfarer's Bauble. This is good at any point of the game. Ideally turn 1, but that's not always possible, so it's just a great card. Some 2 mana rocks. Fractured Power Stone. It's great for plane chase when we ever do that. Boros Signet's good for getting your color fixing. And Mind Stone's best because later on in the game you just sack it and draw a card. These are all standard rocks. This is easily the best one. I say it in like every deck too. But 2 mana rocks are a little iffy in this deck because he is 6 mana, so you're not casting him with a 2 mana rock. But they're good for the long game. I got some more rocks here. These ones don't really do too much in the deck. There's Pristine Talisman, gains a life. Altars the Pantheon doesn't do anything. It increases devotion and whatnot, but I don't care about that in this deck. It's just another rock. Like I said, this deck runs like 16 rocks because you want as much ramp as possible. And Darksteel doesn't do anything. It just taps for any mana, and it's indestructible, which is good. It'll happen sometimes if someone starts blowing your stuff up. Get another value rock. Seer's Lantern. This one's Scries, which is very valuable in a Boros deck. Boros, I can't stress enough that Boros sucks at card advantage. And this is a way to alleviate that problem. We got a Rosca Relic and Commander Sphere. These are both very good rocks because if you're feeling confident that he's not going to die to anything and you don't have to cast him again next turn for 8 or 10 or it's going to keep going up, these are good because you can sack him later on, draw a card, and gain some life with this one. Good stuff. Very good rocks. Very consistent rocks too. We got Boros Locket and Boros Cluestone. Same basic deal. They're very good early on when you want to ramp and get as much mana as possible so you can play your spells. And then late game when you're running out of spells, which is want to happen very often in these color decks, just go ahead and sack him, draw some cards, try and get back into the flow of things. Probably the best 3-mana rock in this deck, Fountain of Ichor. Taps for any mana, and you can pay 3 and turn it into a 3/3 creature, which is pretty sweet. I'm a huge fan of this card. I want to put it in more decks, but it's hard to make spot for rocks, which we'll talk about later on probably. This deck struggles with a lot of stuff because it has so many rocks in it instead of actual cards. But I don't know. I like it. It's cool stuff. Then we got the 2 4-mana rocks. Like I said, these are just these are good because they're insurance when your commander gets nuked out of the game. They're both great. They're both the same. 4 mana, tap to add 2 mana. That's just good stuff right there, man. Like I said, if you have a turn cycle where these survive and next turn you just untap with them, you're doing good. You're off to the races. You got plenty of strategies to go from there. That's all the ramp. Like I said, that is a wild amount of ramp, man. More ramp than any of my decks have. So let's just skip ahead, get into some lands. Because lands are pretty boring. I think this is 11 plains, and we got 13 mountains. 11 plains, 13 mountains. We got 2 fetch lands. Good stuff. It's gonna be a while before you play him, so getting tap lands is fine. Especially it's a little slower, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Haunted Fengraf. It's good to sack this later on to get him back or another creature. I think mainly you want him back, but you never know. Sometimes there's a better creature in that pile to go for. Opal Palace and Forge of Heroes. He is a big creature, but we can get him bigger. We want him bigger. Opal Palace is great for that function. Forge of Heroes is okay. Forge of Heroes is just a standard counter on it. Not too bad. Not too good. But it's alright. Tajiri Step. This one's great at protecting him for a turn. So you can get in there for a big swing. It's good if someone puts like Fate's Fetters on him. Just give him pro white, bounce that off. It's just a good card. Generically, it's one of the best end of the battlefield tap lands. And it definitely pulls its weight in every game it's played. Let's see here. We got Boros Guildgate, Boros Garrison, and Command Tower. I am missing a tap land that gains life on enemies. I can't remember what it's called. But I'm missing that one. I do need that. But these are all the same thing. These tap for 2 mana. These tap for dual colors. And this taps for 2 mana. But you have to bounce a land. It's not the end of the world. Bouncing Tajiri Step is very good. Or if you're feeling really frisky, you can bounce one of these cycle lands. Looking at this, I should probably put some more cycle lands in. I don't know why there's only 2, and these ones in particular. But that's a problem I can fix, no problem. These ones are sweet, though. I love cycle lands. Like I said, I usually run a lot in my deck. So with all the lands in the ramp, that's about like 50 cards out of the deck, man. I feel like that's just so much. So you run out of space for everything else. So, but besides that, you need some draw power. And like I said before, countless times these colors have trouble drawing, but you can make it happen. It's not the end of the world. We have Relic. This is good for graveyard decks, but if you're not playing graveyard deck, it does cycle a draw card. Not bad. I don't think there's not too many graveyard shenanigans. There are a couple, but we'll get into them here. But Relic's just a good card to have. It's pretty much a staple in every deck. There's probably like 2 or 3 decks that don't run it. Here, let's get into these bad boys. You want the Monarch. You want the Monarch as often as possible, and you want it in every game, if possible. So, because you need more draw. Even if your opponent does get it, you can try and get it. You can try and finagle your way back in there and get the Monarch. But you do want it in every deck. These 2 are the worst ones, but they're still very good because they let these colors draw cards. Very good stuff. Let's see here. We got Merchant of the Veil and Oread of the Mountains Blaze. Sorry. 3 mana, 2/3. 2 mana, 1/3. So the same effect, 3 mana, discard a card and draw a card. 3 mana, discard a card and draw a card. But this one has the haggle ability, the adventure, sorry. In speed, you can discard a card and draw a card. It's good because a lot of times you're going to be top decking lands. And let's say you don't want lands anymore. You already have 12 out, let's say. Go ahead and discard and draw. Also go to Scare Tailor, discard a land, swing with Scare Tailor, get the land back, and then you still draw. It's just cool little value like that. That's what red has to do to sort of get around it. Tormenting Voice and Thrill of Possibility. More shenanigans red has to do to get around not having actual draw. As you're going to notice, white has no draw, so this is what we got. Cool stuff. Discard a card, draw 2. This one's sorcery, so it's worse. This one's instant, so it's better. That's about it. I've said before in another video, like Thrill of Possibility, the fact that they made this card, I'm just so happy. Because they're really making PDH sort of shine with these powerful cards. And just like, because a lot of cards are like cool and good, but the fact that just making them instant speed changes them so much. And it's just good stuff. Great cards. Faithless Looting. If you are a modern player, I shouldn't need to tell you how good this card is. But this card is also a red staple, I feel like. 1 mana, draw 2, then discard 2. Good stuff. Then you can flash it back later, which you probably never inevitably will, unless you crack your relic or some shit. But even if you don't, still good. Still good value. This one I like because it makes a creature. I have no way to really make a mass bigger in this deck, but drawing 2 is good. Discarding card is fine. It's 3 mana, which does suck, but a lot of times you're not doing much with your mana. So, I don't know. Getting a chump blocker is okay. Because I hate other people's 1-butts. My 1-butts are fine. Those are my babies. No touch. Yeah, let's go ahead and just jump into some other value creatures we got. Ironclad Slayer and Oromancer. These two are sweet. On the end of the battlefield, you normally get... This one says only an enchantment from your graveyard to your hand, and this one is aura or equipment. And that's good because I'm going to show you the auras and equipments in this deck are very, very powerful. Because that's, you know, the whole point. You throw a good equipment on him or aura on him, you're off to the races. But, so a lot of times they'll get blown up. So you just cast him when it's valuable for you, get it back, and play it on your general again. Good stuff. Sunrise Seeker. I'm a huge fan of this card. He explores. Exploring is really good in Boros. There's only 2. I think there's like 3, I think, maybe. But I'm only running this one. I like him because he can be big. He's got Vigilance. Vigilance is good. Vigilance is very good. I like this card. He's kind of a pet card of mine. I just put him in most of my decks. Heliod's Pilgrim. I have a lot of auras in this deck, which we'll go over. They're all in different piles, but we'll still go over them. Just getting any aura you want out of your deck. Very strong stuff. And I love this new art from Theros. Heliod's Pilgrim is just such a good card. This is another one from Theros. I have not played with it yet, but I'm just eager to. Nyxborn Brute. Pretty sweet. 5 mana, 7/3. The 3-butt sucks, but the whole idea of me putting this big boy in here is that if you swing with him and lower their power and toughness, like they're still going to be a little iffy on blocking this thing, especially if you have like an instant speed trick to make this a little stronger. They're still going to be a little wary on blocking this boy. Or worst case scenario, they just don't want to block anyway because it's so huge. I mean, it's probably just going to get chumped, but that's why swing with the Swathcutter as well. Kill their 1-butt so they can't jump it anymore. Cool stuff. I like him. A little cheeky strategy. Quakefoot Cyclops. This card's pretty cool. I kind of like it. I kind of feel like it's a pet card of mine. I have him in a couple decks. I kind of want some more though. When he enters the battlefield, up to 2 target creatures can't block this turn. Or you can cycle him away, and then target creature can't block this turn. So you're still getting some value even if you cycle it. I kind of like it. It's 5 mana, 4/4. Really not bad at all. Casting him and he's just another big creature. Like I said, this deck kind of struggles on creatures. So, I don't know. It's good stuff. He's cool. We got Rock's Veteran. This guy is in here because the tap ability. The battle cry is not too relevant because you're not really flooding the board. You're definitely not going wide in this deck. You're going tall more than anything else. But he's cool because he taps a creature. So you want to be swinging with Swathcutter all the time. But sometimes there's like a Eldrazi Devastator out there, like an 8/9, so you can't safely run into that. So you just swing, tap their thing, and then you can get safe in there. Rock's Veteran's cool. I like him. He should be in more decks, to be honest with you. Anytime you attack and you get value on that attack, it's good stuff. Being a good stuff. Seraphadon. Card is sweet. Probably one of the best white creatures, I would say. 4 mana, 2/4, flying and lifelink. I mean, that's just good, man. 4-but's like pretty much unkillable in this format, and it'll pay for itself quite evenly, I would say. I think that's all the creatures for now. Go ahead and get in some enchantment destruction. I have Orm's Thunder. I don't think I've ever cast Orm's Thunder once because I just never draw it, but this card is sweet. You can kick it and deals damage to that permanent converted mana cost to any creature, which is pretty sweet. And this one, True Love's Kiss, another awesome card. 4 mana, exile, target artifact or enchantment, instant speed, and you draw a card. Instant speed is just so good. This one's also good because it draws a card. But 4 mana does hurt. But you're saying I should stop that. Very good card. They're both very good. You kind of love to see him in your opening hand all the time. Because God forbid he gets like a face fetters on him or something. Then you're in trouble. You need a way to get rid of that. Gossamer's Chain. For the most part, when you don't have your general out, people are going to be swinging at you because they are scared of you, and you do gain a lot of life in this deck. So Gossamer's Chain is a good way to keep your life total high because you just bounce the creature, you stop their swing, they don't do any damage, and you just bounce this back to your hand. It's just one of those things that just keep coming back, like Broken Fall. Just keeps coming back, and there's no easy way to get rid of it. Good stuff. Flicker of Fate. I am very excited for this card. I have not played with it yet, but it is a very sweet card. It is almost a staple, I feel like. 2 mana, exile target creature or enchantment, then return it onto the battlefield under its owner's control. So with a cheeky card like this, you can do a combo where they have a hexproof creature. You cast this on something, then you Flicker of Fate it, and it comes. Since it's already cast and came to the battlefield, it just comes back to the battlefield without the cast part, and you can just auto-target their hexproof thing. It's a very awesome way to get around that stuff. And still not quite sure why that ruling happens, but it does happen, and it's very sweet. I'm a huge fan of it. But Flicker Fate, very good card. Haven't played with it yet because I just sort of recently put it in. But it's good to save your general too if shenanigans like that happens, or you could be cheeky and do the combo I was talking about. And the other card I was talking about, Dreadful Apathy. This card's awesome. 3 mana. Enchant creature. The creature can't attack or block. That's awesome. Then you can also pay 2 colorless and a white to exile enchanted creature. So it's basically, if you want to get real jiggy with it, it's a 6 mana kill spell. But it exiles a creature, which is awesome. Good stuff. Definitely no staple. Speaking of staples, Goblin War Drums. Awesome card. All your creatures get menace when they attack. It's just very good, man. Having 2 creatures have to block this bad boy is nasty stuff. Because you got ways to pump them up too. So, I mean, menace is just good on every creature, to be honest. Dawn Charm. This card is sweet. I think I've brought it up in another video, maybe the soldier one. But with this, you kind of want to cast it for the regenerate part, mostly. I feel like, alright, stopping a fog is good. Stopping a fireball is good. Stopping like a targeted dispel or discard spell is good, even though that one doesn't happen too often anymore. It used to though. But the regenerating him is very good, man, because you don't want to cast him for that much all the time. Like, he gets expensive really quickly. And if you just regenerate him, like, you should be safe for another turn. Unless someone else has a kill spell on you, then that's 2 kill spells out of their hand, which is very good. Another way to protect him, which I just put in as well, haven't really played with it too much yet. Karametra's Blessing. 1 mana, target creature gets +2/+2. If it's enchanted or an enchantment creature, it also gains hexproof and indestructible. That's pretty sweet because there are a lot of auras and enchantments in this deck. And so making him hexproof and indestructible is a very powerful combo, especially if you're trying to get in there for commander damage and whatnot. Like I said, I haven't played with it too much, but I can definitely see the potential of this card. Some decks can go hog wild with like Transguild Courier, Sphinx of the Guild. Oh no, Sphinx of the wouldn't run it. It's not gold colored. But there's a lot of decks that could really abuse this. And I'm pretty excited to try it out. Haven't done so yet though. This is another pet card of mine, but it's also a very good card. Answered Prayers. 3 mana enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under my control, I gain a life, and if it's not a creature, it becomes a 3/3 creature with flying. So card's very good. Pretty powerful stuff. Like over the course of a game, it can easily game you like 10, 12 life, and also do like that much damage by swinging. Normally, people want to get rid of it because the constant life gain is very annoying. So that's about like all the random good cards of the deck. I have it sorted into some more piles, but a big problem with him is he's 6 mana, 5/5 vigilance, and he stays on the field the first time. It doesn't do anything, which is a problem. But we have ways to get rid of that. Ways to avenge that problem. We got Crashing Drawbridge. You know all about Crashing Drawbridge. Very good card. One of the best. 2 mana, 0/4 defender. Tap it. Creatures I control gain haste until end of turn. That's beautiful stuff right there, man. Giving him haste right off the bat and just boom, swinging. Very good. And it's also a 2 mana, so it kind of curves into him pretty well. Good stuff. I like it a lot. This is another one. I love this card, Dragon Breath. It's also very good too in the late game. If you throw that shit on there. 2 mana, enchanted creature gets haste, and enchanted creature gets +1/+0 until it turns, gets fire breathing, which I think there's more planes in this deck, but you still got enough mountains to really fire breathe some damage out there. But the big part of it is when a creature with converted mana cost 6 or higher enters the battlefield, I can return this from the graveyard to the battlefield equipped to that creature. So that's another reason why this deck has so many like discard draw cards in it, because you want to discard this and just eventually equip it onto Swathcutter. Like that's an awesome combo because he immediately gets haste and you have to pay 2 mana for it. Paying 2 mana for it's a little rough. You don't want to do that. And ignoring that one though, we have Strider Harness and Crystal Slipper. Both effectively the same card. This one's cheaper and it doesn't pump the butt, but his butt is already huge, so you don't need to worry about that too much. But they both equip for 1 and they give haste, which is very good stuff. Like I can't stress enough how much having haste is good for him. Because if he sits around and just does nothing, you're just spending mana for no value, and it hurts. Especially when it's supposed to be a commander damage deck. Alright, so that's all the haste. And we got a little more combos here. Let's get Trample with him is very good. Because he does the 1 damage, so the butt's a little bit lower. And so Trample means he gets that much more damage in there. So we got some ways to get Trample here. Vorak Battlehorns. This card's sweet. It gets Trample and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. If you have Goblin War Drums out, he gets Menace, which is unblockable with this. Can't be blocked more than 1, and Menace says you can only be blocked by 2 or more. So effectively unblockable. It's not. I should put Whisper Silk in here. I don't know why it's not in here, but that's why I'm doing these deck techs also, because it helps remind me of what I'm missing in these decks. Trample's very good. Double Strike Trample is even better. Timber Battle Rage, great card. Target creature gets Double Strike on turn, and he is ferocious himself, so he's always going to trigger it. Gives him Trample. I mean, Double Strike is so good for him. He doesn't do the attack trigger twice, but Double Strike makes him huge, man. Very good stuff. Fist of Flame. Card is sweet. Huge fan of it. I try and put it in most of my red decks. It's just 2 mana, draw a card. Until the turn, target creature gets Trample and +1/+0 for each card you've drawn. In a red deck, in a Boros deck, it's usually not going to be that high. It might be like 2 or 3 at the most, maybe 4, +4 damage at the most. So it's not going to be that high ever. And +4 is like if you're living the dream. If you like Tormenting Voice into this card, then you're doing good. But for the most part, it's not going to be that big. But it's very good. It gives Trample, and it makes him bigger. Good stuff. And we got 2 more Tramples here. Tilonali's Crown. When it enters the battlefield, does 1 damage to an enchanted creature. Oh no, he only has 4 left. And he gets +3/0 and Trample. That's pretty big. That's pretty beefy. That's pretty scary. And then Bestial Fury is cool because it's 3 mana, and then you draw a card at the next upkeep. So it pays for itself right off the bat. And if the creature attacks, I keep tapping him, but he has vigilance, so I don't need to. But if he attacks and he gets blocked, he gets +4/+0 and Trample, which is pretty huge. It's a pretty big way to saying, hey, don't block this. Otherwise, you're going to be feeling a lot worse than you would just take the 5. So I like it. It's kind of a way to say, don't block this shit. Cool stuff. One of the main, like I said before, the main reason I built this deck is because of Lifelink. His synergy with Lifelink is nasty. So we have 2 right here. Mortal's Ardor. Target creature gets +1/+1 and Lifelink until in turn for only one white mana, instant speed. And Swift Justice, the better one. Target creature gets +1/+0, first strike, and Lifelink. Good stuff. These are the ones you usually keep in your opening hand. It's only good for 1 turn, but gaining like 12 life in 1 turn is very good for 1 mana. And then doing more damage afterwards too. Good stuff. Hopeful Eidolon, 4 mana, +1/+1. It becomes an enchantment. And just throw it on him, gets Lifelink. It's cool. Just another way to get Lifelink. Good stuff. And if he dies, it becomes unbestowed, I guess you would call it. And it just becomes a 1/1 creature with Lifelink. Not bad. Cool stuff. The 2 better ones in this deck. Alright, I'll just go with this one first. Wire's Devotion. This one's great. It makes a 1/1 vampire creature with Lifelink. But it also gives enchanting creature +1/+1 and Lifelink. Very good stuff. Consistent Lifelink is the best. Getting another chump blocker is very good too. It's just great. And the best enchantment in this deck by far, Scourge of the Noblest. 3 mana. If the enchant creature is red, it gets +1/+1 and has fire breathing, but with white mana too, so it's double fire breathing, I guess you would call it. And if the enchant creature is white, it gets +1/+1 and has lifelink. That's pretty good. That is a pretty good combo right there. So it automatically gives him +2/+2, fire breathing and lifelink. So I mean, if he survives a turn with this on there, you're doing some heavy damage, man. You're doing some wild stuff. Scourge of the Noblest is my favorite, and I love that art so much, man. What an awesome card. I love that whole cycle from... Is that Shadowmoor? Or Eventide? That whole cycle is so sweet. I hope we go back there one day. But, so that's Trample, Lifelink, and Haste. We got some more effects. So a lot of these effects are pretty good. They're like kill spells, I would say. Cosmotronic Wave, not actually a kill spell, but with this and him swinging, you can kill 2 butts pretty easily, which is awesome stuff. And also the upside creatures your opponent's control can't block this turn. Not bad at all. It's pretty sweet actually, because even getting there for commander damage without them blocking is awesome. Huge fan of this card. Probably more decks. Now that I'm thinking about it. Card's sweet. We got some more. Humble and Reprobation. Both awesome cards. This is a 2 mana instant speed. Target creature becomes a 0/1 and loses all abilities. It's a great card. Should be more decks, to be honest with you, as well. And Reprobation, which is in a lot of decks. Target creature loses all ability, becomes a coward, and it becomes a 0/1 as well. So I mean, just putting these on a problem creature like a Devastator and then swinging, so the Devastator immediately dies because these are both they're turned to 1/1s. Like that's just good stuff. Pretty much a kill spell. I'm a huge fan of it. I love these 2 cards. Another card which is my favorite in the deck, hands down. I don't know if it's the best, but it's my favorite card in this deck. Blight Sickle. This card is so freaking good with Swathcutter Giant, man. Because when he attacks, Swathcutter deals the damage, and if you give him Wither, God, that is so nasty, man. All of them get smaller. They all take damage, and it just means like next turn. There's no way if he gets equipped with Blight Sickle, he's surviving a turn. But if he does, like you're just nuking everyone's field every time. It just makes him lower and lower, and it's just nasty stuff. I love this card so much. I think I'd keep every hand with it. If there was a way I could transmute for 2 in these colors, I would get this every time. Inflame. This is a great card with him. It pretty much kills all 3 butts too. You swing with him, they take all 1 damage, then you inflame before they can block. They take 2 more damage. Get out. Get out. Wipe their whole board pretty much. You can do 4 damage, that'd be the ideal. Get rid of those damn 4 butts. Damn 4 butts, but this is a sweet card. Huge fan of this. And from my favorite set, Kamigawa, Crushing Pain. 2 mana, does 6 damage to target creature that has dealt damage this turn. So if they have a 7-butt randomly, I don't know how that happened, but 1 damage, 6 damage. That's awesome stuff, man. Those are like pretty much why I built the deck, like little cards like this. Like Blight Sickle, Lifelink. I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta make this deck. This guy is sweet. And Lord knows I hate 1-butts. But that's Swathcutter Giant. I may have ragged on him a couple times, a little bit, but I do love this deck. I do personally think that this is my tightest deck of all because like you can't cut too many rocks, otherwise you can't cast him. And there's so few creatures in it. It's hard. This is deck one of my hardest decks to balance around. I feel like I need to get back to the drawing board and really figure it out. But I do love Swathcutter. He is awesome. He's a lot of fun. I've had some really miserable plane chase games with him. Like sometimes you just get reverse turn ordered like twice, and there's just nothing you can do. Plane chase kills him twice, but that's plane chase. I've had some very amazing good games with him. Like I said before, just dropping a Scourge of Noblesse on him is nasty stuff, man. It is very hard for your opponents to recover because you gain so much life. It's insane. Like you gain the life on swing, but you also gain the life when he attacks too, when he does the damage. Like they have to either keep fogging him or keep killing him. It's nuts. Good stuff. But that's it for this deck. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking about it. I enjoy playing this deck a lot too. But anyway, if you have any questions or comments, cards I should be running, cards I shouldn't be running, let's just go ahead and talk about it in the chat or in the comments below. There's plenty to discuss with these kind of decks. There's plenty of cards that like I'd probably missed because we have so many decks. I just keep forgetting about them. But anyway, talk to us in the comments below. If you have any requests for any other deck techs, go ahead and throw them on us. We'll get those out as soon as we can. And I hope you guys are great. I hope you guys are staying safe. And I hope you have a good day.